Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. To get this segment started, we probably should have had a little Steve Miller, since he was the nephew of the great late Les Paul, and Les Paul taught him how to play a guitar when he was only 5 years old, actually younger than that. He actually began performing on stage at the age of 5, thanks a lot to his uncle. And speaking of Les Paul, we are interviewing Arlan Ettinger, who's with a company called Guernsey, which is an auction house, and they've got a huge event coming up. It's a small number of items, but boy, they are very precious items indeed. Arlan, welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit about your auction house.
Sure. For now 40 years, Guernsey's has been producing pretty interesting sales that have ranged from the John F. Kennedy and Franklin Roosevelt auctions, the Princess Diana sale, the Elvis Presley and Mickey Mantle auctions, the history of jazz. We did the world's largest auction, which was the SS United States, the ocean liner, did the first auction of artwork from the Soviet Union. Interesting events of many, many descriptions, sometimes crazy sales like our unique auction of 200,000 pre-Castro Cuban cigars, the only Cuban products allowed into the country since the establishment of the embargo. But that's what we do.
Yeah, of course, that's changing fast. But yeah, that's huge. And the official Elvis Presley auction, just incredible what you have. But I got to tell you, as a classic rock fan, I'm hugely excited about the event coming up regarding Les Paul guitars. Talk about that.
Sure. On the 19th, live here in New York, but people can bid from anywhere on the planet. Technology is such now that instantaneous or real-time bidding is very easy. One goes to a company called liveauctioneers.com to register, and then you can follow this or bid on these items truly from anywhere on the planet. But on the 19th, we're selling, it's a very small auction, focused around 2 guitars, both of which are owned by a gentleman named Tom Doyle, who for 45 years was a very close friend, consultant, assistant, electronic guru, luthier to the one and only Les Paul. And Tom, after Les's death, ended up with these guitars, and now they're being sold. The most extraordinary one, I guess it's fair to say, is referred to as Black Beauty. It is the Gibson Les Paul model that gave birth to all the Les Pauls that followed. And anyone who knows anything about 20th century and popular music knows that almost every musician you can think of at one point or another used a Les Paul as his primary or at least important instrument, and the list is unending, from Eric Clapton to Keith Richards to John Lennon, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan. There's almost no one you can think of who didn't treasure their Les Paul, all of which stemmed from this single first instrument.
So what kind of number, in terms of participation, do you expect for the event, and where will this take place?
The event will take place in a very good-looking gallery on Madison Avenue here in New York City. One need only call Guernsey's or go to Guernsey's.com to find out the specifics. We have a beautiful catalog for the event. It's on the evening of Thursday the 19th. I don't know that we're going to get a large crowd, because I think people do understand that this is a very valuable couple of instruments. The world record for any guitar ever sold, any electric guitar ever sold, has been hovering around the $1 million mark for a while now. We sold Jerry Garcia's guitar referred to as Tiger for $956,000, and that was the record for 10 years. That was recently topped by a few $100,000. But there aren't too many people in that league, so I think the auction is limiting. I think it's interesting to everyone, but how many will show up, who knows? Everyone's invited, though.
So what are you expecting? Do you have any idea as far as what kind of bid it's going to get?
To try to know what something will bring when you're selling it at public auction. When there's precedent to point to, you can sell a picture by Picasso, which, by the way, we're going to be doing in the fall. You can look to precedents of similar paintings done that have sold at auction over the years to use as a guide to come up with an estimate for something upcoming. But when you have something unique like this Les Paul guitar, who knows? Most guitars that have brought big money because they've been associated with someone who played them. It's not because the guitar itself was terribly valuable. In this instance, let me make the quick analogy that if we were talking about a baseball bat, a bat used by Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle would be valuable, certainly if it was at a pivotal moment in those players' careers. But imagine, if you will, that you had a stick of wood that was sort of whittled out to make for a handle, and someone said, let's hit a ball with this thing, and that became the first baseball bat in the world. Well, that's what we're talking about here with this guitar. So it sort of transcends anything else, and sort of we think the sky's the limit in what it might bring. But certainly it should be in the league of these other record setters.
I've got to wrap it up with that. Arlan Ettinger, he has got a great auction coming up there, and you can learn more about them at Guernseys.com. That's GUERNSEYS.com. Thank you, Arlan, for your time today.
Kevin, my pleasure.
Best content here can be found over there at USDailyReview.com, and this is The Price of Business.